Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Are you ready to dive into some of the most epic and foundational stories ever told? We are about to embark on an incredible journey together, starting right at the very beginning with the book of Genesis. From the awe-inspiring moment of creation, where heaven and earth were spoken into existence, all the way through the dramatic lives of Adam and Eve, Noah, Abraham, and Jacob. We'll follow the incredible story of Joseph, from a pit to a palace in Egypt. These aren't just old tales. They are powerful stories full of drama, faith, and humanity. We're going to bring them to life in a way you've never seen before. Let's begin. Have you ever wondered how everything began? Where did the sun, the moon, the stars, and even you and I come from? It's a question that has fascinated people for thousands of years. Let's travel back in time, all the way to the very beginning. Imagine a place with absolutely nothing. No light, no sound, no up, no down. Just an endless, silent darkness. It's hard to even picture, isn't it? But in this vast, empty space, God was there. The Spirit of God was moving, hovering over what the Bible describes as the deep, dark waters. It was a moment of pure potential, a canvas waiting for the first stroke of a brush. And then, everything changed. God spoke, and his words echoed through the nothingness. Let there be light. And just like that, with those four powerful words, light burst into existence. It wasn't the sun, not yet. It was pure, brilliant light, cutting through the darkness that had reigned forever. God looked at this new creation, this beautiful light, and he saw that it was good. He then separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. And so the evening and the morning passed, marking the very first day. On the second day, God continued his masterpiece. The waters were still everywhere, a vast cosmic ocean. God said, "Let there be a space to separate the waters from the waters." He created an expanse, a great dome that pushed the waters apart. He called this magnificent space sky or heaven. Now there was a clear division, waters below and waters above, with a beautiful blue sky in between. And just like before, the evening and the morning made up the second day. Day 3 arrived, and God turned his attention to the waters below the sky. They were still covering everything. So God spoke again, commanding, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it happened. The waters receded, pulling back to form vast oceans and seas, and for the first time, dry land emerged. God called the dry ground earth, and the gathered waters he called seas. He looked at the new coastlines, the mountains, and the valleys, and he saw that it was good. But the earth was still bare. So God wasn't finished. He said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." Instantly, the barren ground burst with life. Green grass carpeted the hills. Colorful flowers bloomed, and towering trees sprouted, their branches heavy with delicious fruit. Every plant had the ability to reproduce, to create more of its own kind. God looked at this lush, green world and saw that it was good. The third day came to a close. On the fourth day, God looked up at the vast expanse of the sky. It was time to fill it with light. He said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." So God made two great lights. He made the greater light, the sun, to govern the day, casting warmth and light across the earth. And he made the lesser light, the moon, to govern the night, a soft, gentle glow in the darkness. But he didn't stop there. He also scattered countless stars across the night sky, like a handful of diamonds thrown onto black velvet. These celestial bodies would not only provide light, but also serve as a cosmic clock and calendar for all time. God saw all that he had made, and it was good. And that was the end of the fourth day. The fifth day dawned, and God's creative energy turned to the waters and the sky he had made. The seas were beautiful but empty. The sky was vast but silent. God declared, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." At his command, the oceans came alive. Giant whales, playful dolphins, and schools of shimmering fish of every shape and size filled the seas. The waters were now teeming with life. At the same time, the air filled with the sound of beating wings. Birds of every kind, from the majestic eagle to the tiny hummingbird, soared and glided through the sky. God looked upon these new creatures, and he blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." He saw that it was good. The evening and the morning were the fifth day. Now we come to the sixth day, a very busy and special day. The land was green and beautiful, but it was still uninhabited by moving creatures. So God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And so it was. Lions, tigers, and bears appeared. Cows, sheep, and goats began to graze. Tiny insects buzzed, and reptiles slithered through the grass. The earth was now filled with a wonderful variety of animals. God looked at them all and saw that they were good. But the grand finale of creation was yet to come. With everything else in place, God said something truly unique. "Let us make mankind in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So, from the dust of the ground, God formed the first man. He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. God created them, male and female, in his own image. He blessed them and said, "Have families. Fill the earth and take care of it. Rule over all the living things I have made." He gave them all the seed-bearing plants and fruit-filled trees for food. God then stepped back and looked at everything he had made: the light, the sky, the land, the seas, the plants, the sun, moon, and stars, the animals, and the humans. And he saw that it was not just good, it was very good. This completed the sixth day. On the seventh day, God's work of creation was finished. So he rested. He blessed the seventh day and made it holy, a special day of rest to remember all the wonderful things he had done. Now, God had created a special place for the man he had made. It was a beautiful, lush garden called Eden. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided into 4 headwaters. God placed the man in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. The garden was a paradise, filled with every kind of tree that was beautiful to look at and good for food. In the middle of the garden stood 2 very special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave the man a clear instruction. He said, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Then God looked at the man and said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." So God brought all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. He gave names to all the livestock, the birds, and the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. When the man woke up and saw her, he said with joy, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." They were both naked, the man and his wife, and they felt no shame. They lived in perfect harmony with God and with each other in the beautiful Garden of Eden. But this perfect peace was not to last. There was a creature in the garden more clever and crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made, the serpent. One day, this sneaky serpent slithered up to the woman and asked a seemingly innocent question, a question designed to plant a seed of doubt. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden"? And with that question, the stage was set for a choice that would change the world forever. In the perfect garden God created, the woman was walking peacefully among the trees. Suddenly, a serpent slithered near and spoke to her. "Did God really say," it hissed, "that you can't eat from any tree in this garden?" The woman replied, "Oh no, we can eat from almost all the trees. But God did tell us about one tree, right in the middle of the garden. He said we must not eat its fruit or even touch it, because if we do, we will die." The serpent shook its head, a sly look in its eyes. "That's not true," it insisted. "You won't die. God knows that the moment you eat that fruit, your understanding will expand. You'll finally know the difference between good and evil, just like He does." The woman looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, vibrant, and it looked incredibly delicious. More than that, it seemed to hold the promise of wisdom. She couldn't resist. She picked the fruit and took a bite. Then she gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it too. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. Later that day, in the cool, quiet evening, they heard a familiar sound, God walking in the garden. But this time, instead of joy, they felt fear. They ran and hid among the trees. God's voice called out, "Where are you?" Trembling, the man answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God's voice was firm. "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" The man, feeling cornered, said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." God then turned to the woman and asked, "What is this you have done?" She replied, her voice shaky, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." God addressed the serpent first. "Because you have done this, you are cursed. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust for all the days of your life." To the woman, He said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children." And to the man, He said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree I commanded you about, the ground is cursed because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you." But even in this moment of judgment, God showed care. He made them durable clothes from animal skins and dressed them. Then He sent them out of the Garden of Eden. This was to prevent them from reaching out and also taking from the tree of life and eating and living forever in their fallen state. At the entrance to the garden, He placed powerful heavenly guards and a flaming sword that flashed back and forth, forever guarding the way to the tree of life. Sometime after leaving the garden, the couple had a son, and they named him Cain. A while later, they had another son, Abel. As they grew up, they chose different paths. Abel became a shepherd, tending to the flocks, while Cain became a farmer, cultivating the soil. One day, the time came for them to bring an offering to God. Cain brought some of the food he had grown from the soil. Abel, however, brought the very best portions from the firstborn of his flock. God looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, He did not look with favor. This filled Cain with a burning anger, and his face fell. God saw his distress and spoke to him. "Why are you so angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, Sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. But Cain didn't listen. Later, while he and Abel were out in the field together, Cain turned on his brother and attacked him, and Abel died. Then God's voice came to Cain, asking, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain retorted, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God knew. He said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." God then pronounced Cain's punishment. The ground he had stained would no longer yield its crops for him easily. He would be a restless wanderer on the earth. Cain cried out, "My punishment is more than I can bear." He was afraid that anyone who found him would kill him. But God showed a measure of mercy. He put a special mark on Cain, a sign to protect him, so that no one who found him would harm him. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. There, he started a family and even built a city. His descendants multiplied over many generations. Some became known for their music, playing the harp and flute. Others became skilled craftsmen, forging tools of bronze and iron. And others continued the family tradition of raising livestock. After all this, Adam and his wife had another son, and they named him Seth. For she said, "God has granted me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him." Seth also had a son, whom he named Enos, and it was during that time, in the days of Seth and Enos, that people once again began to call on the name of the Lord. On the day that God created humanity, he made them in his own likeness. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam on the day they were created. Adam lived for 130 years, and then had a son in his own likeness, after his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived another 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In total, Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. Seth lived for 105 years, and had a son named Enos. After Enos was born, Seth lived another 807 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In total, Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. Enos lived for 90 years, and had a son named Cain. After Cainan was born, Enos lived another 815 years, having more sons and daughters. In total, Enos lived 905 years, and then he died. Cainan lived for 70 years, and had a son named Mahalalel. After Mahalalel was born, Cainan lived another 840 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In total, Cainan lived 910 years, and then he died. Mahalalel lived for 65 years, and had a son named Jared. After Jared was born, Mahalalel lived another 830 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In total, Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then he died. Jared lived for 162 years, and had a son named Enoch. After Enoch was born, Jared lived another 800 years, having more sons and daughters. In total, Jared lived 962 years, and then he died. Now, Enoch lived for 65 years, and had a son named Methuselah. And something was different about Enoch. The scripture says that after his son was born, Enoch walked faithfully with God for 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters as well. All the days of Enoch were 365 years. And then the pattern changes. It doesn't say, "and he died." Instead, it says, Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away. Methuselah lived for 187 years, and had a son named Lamech. After Lamech was born, Methuselah lived another 782 years, and had other sons and daughters. In total, Methuselah lived 969 years, the longest recorded lifespan, and then he died. Lamech lived for 182 years, and had a son. He named him Noah, saying, "He will comfort us in the labor." and painful toil of our hands, caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. After Noah was born, Lamech lived another 595 years, having more sons and daughters. In total, Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. By the time Noah was 500 years old, he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. As time went on, the human population began to multiply across the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them. Then the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Lord then said, "My spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years. In those days, and for some time after, there were giants on the earth. This was when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They became the heroes of old, men of renown. But God saw how great humanity's wickedness on the earth had become, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and animal, and the creeping things, and the birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And I will destroy them with the earth. Make an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The ark shall be very long, wide, and tall. Make a window in the ark, and finish it a cubit above. And put the door of the ark in the side of it, and make it with a lower, second, and third story. And behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life from under heaven. Everything on the earth shall die, but with you I will make my covenant, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every kind you shall bring into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of birds after their kind, and of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind shall come to you to keep them alive. And take with you all kinds of food that can be eaten, and gather it to you. And it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did. He did all that God commanded him. And the Lord said to Noah, Come into the ark, you and all your family, for I have seen you righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean animal take to you by 7s, the male and his female. And of animals that are not clean, take 2, the male and his female. Of birds also of the air by 7s, the male and the female, to keep their kind alive on the face of all the earth. For in 7 days I will make it rain upon the earth 40 days, and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will destroy from the face of the earth. And Noah did everything that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was very old when the flood of waters came upon the earth. And Noah went into the ark, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, because of the waters of the flood. Of clean animals and of animals that are not clean, and of birds and of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark too, Noah the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that very day, all the fountains of the great deep broke open, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day, Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, And the 3 wives of his sons went into the ark. They went in with every animal after its kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that crawls on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into Noah into the ark, 2 by 2 of all creatures that had the breath of life. And they went in, male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days on the earth, and the waters rose and lifted up the ark, and it floated above the earth. And the waters grew stronger and rose higher on the earth, and the ark moved on the surface of the waters. And the waters rose very high on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole sky were covered. The waters rose even higher, and the mountains were covered. And all living things that moved on the earth died: birds, cattle, animals, every creeping thing that crawls on the earth, and every person. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nose died. Every living thing on the face of the ground was destroyed: people, cattle, creeping things, and birds of the sky. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark stayed alive. And the waters were over the earth 150 days. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And God sent a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters began to go down. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were closed, and the rain from heaven stopped falling. And the waters slowly went back from the earth. And after the 150 days, the waters had gone down. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters kept going down until the 10th month. And in the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. And after 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made. And he sent out a raven, which flew back and forth until the waters dried up from the earth. He also sent out a dove to see if the waters had gone down from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest her foot, so she returned to him in the ark, because the waters were still over the whole earth. Then Noah reached out his hand, took her, and brought her back into the ark. He waited 7 more days, and again sent out the dove. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and in her mouth was an olive leaf she had picked. So Noah knew that the waters had gone down from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again, but this time she did not return. And in the 601st year, in the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and saw that the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was completely dry. And God spoke to Noah, saying, "Leave the ark, you and your wife, and your sons and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living creature that is with you, birds, cattle, and every creeping thing that crawls on the earth, so they may fill the earth, and have many young, and grow in number on the earth." And Noah went out, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, and every bird, everything that moves on the earth, went out of the ark after their kinds. And Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took some of every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet smell. And the Lord said in his heart, "I will not curse the ground again because of man, for the thoughts of man's heart are evil from his youth. And I will not destroy every living thing again as I have done. While the earth remains, planting time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not end." And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, "Be fruitful, and have many children, and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you shall be upon every animal of the earth, every bird of the air, everything that moves on the earth, and all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, just as I gave the green plants. But you must not eat meat that has its life, that is, its blood in it. And for your own life's blood, I will demand the payment. From every animal I will demand it, and from every person. Whoever kills a man, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in his own image. And you, be fruitful and have many children. Fill the earth and grow in it. And God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, I am making my covenant with you and with your children after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, all that come out of the ark. I will make my covenant with you that all flesh will never again be destroyed by the waters of a flood, and there will never again be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you, for all generations. I set my bow in the cloud, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring a cloud over the earth, the bow will be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters will never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. The bow will be in the cloud, and I will look at it, and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh on the earth. And God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh on the earth. And the sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These were the 3 sons of Noah, and from them the whole earth was filled with people. And Noah became a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank some of the wine, and became drunk, and lay uncovered inside his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brothers outside. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, put it on both their shoulders, and walked backward, and covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away, so they did not see their father's nakedness. And Noah woke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done to him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brothers. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall live in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Thanks so much for watching with me today. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button. God bless you. Until next time.